Hey guys, hi, welcome back. Right, so in this video, people what we'll see is we'll go for distribution. Now, before we understand, I think this is a bit technical, so we need to understand what do you mean by distribution of a certain variable. Distribution is generally seen for a single variable or let's say two variables over here. I'll come back to two variables in a while. Okay. Now, in single variable, what we try and see is that how is that single value, a single variable distributed. For example, if I say, let's say my quantity sold of a certain product, let's say the quantity sold per order ranges from, let's say, 1 to 55. Okay. And I'll like to understand that which particular, or should say, type of quantity is sold most often. Now, quantity being an integral value, I think this will not serve the purpose for us. Instead, what I'll take something which is a continuous variable. Let me call it profit over here. Perfect. Yeah. Let me call it profit. I want to understand that how is my profit distributed across. For example, between the minimum and the maximum, right? How is my profit distributed? Now, if the distribution looks something like this, means that most of my data is giving me, let's say this point is, let's assume it to be 40%. Most of my orders are giving me profits less than 40%. And the orders which are greater than 40% profit, well, their number of distribution is less. Distribution over here is showing what is every percentage point, how many values are there, how many orders are there which are delivering a certain profit percentage. For example, if I talk about, let's say this is 38%, then this value over here denotes, it might denote anything, but for the sake of understanding the data, how many orders, right? How many orders, number of orders, this is giving me the number of orders which are giving me 38% profit. Similarly, if I go for, let's say this is 26% profit, then this particular value over here gives me number of orders which are giving me exactly 26%. That way I can understand that the distribution of the number of orders across profit, right? That is how we see. Now, please understand that the only variable that you are seeing is profit. We are looking at how is the profit distributed across. I mean, in this case, percentage profit, but it might be absolute profit as well. All right. So this is what we see in a single level, distribution. Let's see it in Tableau. Now, if I move on to Tableau, and I think I've already created one. So let me call it distribution and let me call it single variable. Okay, let me call it single variable over here. Now, there are a good handful number of continuous variables over here. Let's say profit, quantity, sales. Let me look at sales over here. Okay, now if I want to understand how is the sales distributed across the entire data, what I'll do is I'll just click only on sales, go to show me, and we get something called as histogram. The graph that I just drew over there is called as histogram. It looks something like this. Right now is giving me count of sales distributed across various bins. What happens is it creates sales bins. Now, sales being a continuous variable, it doesn't have categories. So Tableau or any other visualization tool will create certain categories for us. Right, we'll understand that category in a while, but it creates a certain category. For example, in the first category, let's say it goes from 0 to certain point. From 0 to that particular certain point, these many, that is number of count of sales, is nothing but 5 to 02. We can actually click on this drop down and say that don't give me count, give me count distinct. Right. Okay. Now it gives me a different shape over here. So this is the distribution over here. Right. We can go for count distinct or we can go for count. Here it makes sense to go for count because the number of orders might be same, isn't it? So it might be the same number of orders are going for a certain bin, and the same number of orders might be repeated for another bin, another category of sales over here. Right. So that is the concept of bin over here in Tableau. That is, it creates, if the entire sales ranges from, let's say, 0 to 350, then it creates bin. Now I can define the size of the bin. Let's say I define the size of bin as 10. So first bin is 0 to 10. Next bin is 10 to 20. Then we have 20 to 30. Then we have 30 to 40 and so on like this. Right. So these are nothing but my bins. Right. Here we can see, I'm so sorry. Here we can see these are nothing but bins. Right. Over here, as we can see. Now, each and every bar over here is representing, right? Each and every bar over here is representing that particular bin, right? So this is my first bin. Right, I'm so sorry. I'm just drawing it in the reverse order. This is my first bin. This is my second bin. This is my third bin, fourth bin, and so on like this. And what is this number representing? What is this number representing? This number is just representing the number of sales lying in that particular bin. Now, I've used that particular word bin a lot. Let me do one thing. Let me take you guys over there and see how the bin looks like. Now, the moment I move on to this thing, the moment I create a, this particular chart over here, which is histogram, a sales bin gets created over here. I'll just click on this drop down, right? And I'll click on edit. Now I can see that what are the size. Now you can see that the minimum sales or minimum sales done in a particular order is 3 units. Maximum is 6517 and the difference is 6514. And the number of bins it has created based on the size of the bin as 204 as this. Now I can reduce the size of the board. I'll say that I don't want it to be in 204 because 204 was an auto suggestion by Tableau. I'll say that, okay, I'll take my own bin. I'll take 100. I'll click on this and now the bin changes over here. Now it says that, okay, now we can see that what is the distribution over here. And we can see what are the sales that we have. As we can see, most of my sales are lying between 0 to 100. Then we have 100 to 200. Then we have 200 to 300 and so on like this, right? So if I just look at it, this is nothing but what? 100 to 200. Oh, sorry, 0 to 100. And then we have this one as 100 to 200. This is my 200 to 300 and so on like this, isn't it? So that's the case, right? So this one is my, 200 to 300, isn't it? Now, so once I change this bin, right? Now the diagram also changes along with it. Now you want to go further and let's say I want to create it to, let's say 50. I want smaller bins over here. Although the value range is still 6,500, you'll understand that how many values will it create. If I just click on OK, I create the number of bins over here. But irrespective of this, I can easily see that the data is pretty much right skewed. That is, it is pressed towards the right. That most of my sales orders are lying in this particular range. This is for sales. Now I can take this out and let's try and understand discount over here. The moment I put in discount and say, okay, let me not do it like this. Let me clear the sheet. If I want to understand discount further, I'll go for the same process. I'll just click on discount, click on show me and click on histogram. It automatically makes the distribution over here. Now, as the discount doesn't change a lot, it ranges from 0% till let's say 70%. In this case, it might go up to 100%, right? We can click on this drop down, click on edit, and we can change the bin. Here, Tableau is auto-suggested that, okay, your discount percentage seems to be something from 0 to 85%. And I've taken bins of 14% each, almost 14% each. So the first bin is 0 to 14%. Next one is 14 to 28% and so on. Approximately, of course, because I'm talking in approximation sense. Now you can say that, okay, don't do that. Give me 5% margins over here. If I just click on this, the entire data gets distributed in 5% bins. As you can see, there's no discount offered between 5 to 10%. There's no discount offered between 15 to 20%, and similarly 35 to 40% and 45 to 50% and so on like this. But I can see most of my orders are in 0 to 5% discount. Now, if I want to understand, let's say profit, if I get greedy in my, visualization, I have to understand the profit. And I'll say that, let me put in profit in color. And I can say, okay, it probably makes sense that if I just edit these colors and let's say I put in red, green diverging, okay. And if I click on apply and okay, I can see that most of my higher discount percentage trades are actually loss-making ones. And the ones which are giving me profits are between 0 to 5, which is not that difficult to understand, but it emphasizes the fact, it seals the fact that giving discount is troublemaking for my business when it comes to generating profits. All right. So this is how, we can understand a certain single variable. This is how we understand distribution of a specific variable. We can go for profit as well. Now we can go and let me actually make another sheet over here. We can just understand profit. I'll just click on profit and click on this histogram. As you can see, that was the only one activated. And it gives me something which we call normal distribution. It looks like a bell over here, right? Most of my profit, again, before we actually start commenting upon this, first is, of course, we'll go for the entire view, of course. And then we understand profit bin. The moment I put histogram of profit, the profit bin automatically gets created. So Tableau has created a bin over here. We can just go and edit it. Now Tableau says, okay, your profit range is from minus 3,000 to somewhere around 2,476. And I've taken the bin size of 194. So it is minus 3,060 to minus 3,060 plus 194, whatever that range is. Okay, although nothing's lying over here, but still that's the range it has taken. I said, don't give me that range. Give me the range of, let's say, 50. I'll just like to see how it is distributed in 50. Now, it again gives me a lot of normal distribution over here. Right, so this is how we can see the distribution of a single variable, single continuous numerical variable. It can be for categorical single numerical variable as well. But if you were to study one variable at a time, we can do something like this.